Hey, Doug.
Just a logistical thing I wanted to double check on before we get going. The 3rd and 13 pass that Kenny threw deep to Jake that was intercepted.
Correct.
If that had fallen incomplete, would you guys have gone on 4th and 13 at that point? 2:40 left, only one timeout. You've gone on 4th and 2 on that drive. I didn't know if.
I don't know. To be the game is a bit of a haze right now, so other than what actually happened, I don't remember much on what was hypothetically could have happened.
Have you gone back and looked at the last drive or the last couple minutes?
Absolutely.
Did you look at it like almost as a fan, just to sort of soak in it for a little bit?
No.
Just to sort of, no, only breaking down the tape.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It was pretty fun though, huh?
Well, I mean, cause
Yeah.
to be honest, I mean, there were.
I think you can do both sometimes as a coach. Yeah, I think you can look at it as a coach and try to dissect it and figure out what went right and what went wrong, and if you had to do it over again, what were the things that you would change or do differently, and at the same time realize its place in the game and in this season, and what that drive meant to the season and to the game. So I think you can do both, but you know, they don't pay me to be a fan, they pay me to be a coach. So my main job on Sundays when I watch that is to figure out what went right and what went wrong, and what changes need to be made.
You appreciated the sequence of events, though, all the things that not just this one thing had to work, but this thing and then this thing and then this thing, and just how hard that can be.
It's ridiculously hard, yeah, but I don't believe there's such a thing as fate or luck or anything like that on the field. It's what Coach Meyer calls competitive excellence. It's having put yourself in positions like that hundreds, if not thousands, of times over the course of a season. That when your number's called, you're ready to make that play or understand where that play needs to go to be made. And so, you know, we all have our routines, if you will. My daughter gave me a rock before the Michigan State game, and a little pebble, and she said, "Daddy, before you leave here, this is for good luck. You bet your bottom dollar I hold that thing when I'm up in the press box." Now, did that help Kenny complete that pass to Devin Smith? Absolutely not. But you know, competitive excellence did. But you know, fate, luck, and none of that plays a part into it other than good football.
Far left, Lori.
Lori Schmidt, 97.1 The Fan. Coach Meyer said that Braxton emphasized this was his first time really being hurt, which kind of implies to me if it was his second or third, he might have reacted differently. Is there a learning curve associated with that? And if so, where's Braxton on that learning curve?
Oh, I think there is. I think there's guys like John Simon that have probably been hurt his whole career and just understand that that's kind of part of it. And there's guys like Braxton Miller, who's you know, for lack of a better term, he's a very fine-tuned athlete. I mean, and those guys don't like it when they get hurt, and it takes a little adjusting. And he's 19 years old. I think we all forget in this room, and let me make this really clear to everybody sitting in here. He's 19 years old. He's a 19-year-old young man that just happens to be the starting quarterback at Ohio State University, and but he's also a 19-year-old college student that this time a year and a half ago or 2 years ago was sitting in a high school classroom. So yeah, there's a learning curve. What it is for each guy, I don't know.
Front row, Bill.
Urban has talked quite a bit about Kenny Gaffney's growth off the field. Could you talk about his development as a quarterback, what he's able to do now that he couldn't do at the start?
Yeah, I think he's a lot more accurate. I think you hear me, I sound like a broken record a lot of times when you guys ask me about quarterback fundamentals. I think a lot of it starts with his feet, and Braxton's improvement has come a lot with his improved footwork, and Kenny's has too, in a different way. And you know, Kenny was, I think, always had it in his mind that he was, without being too technical, he was not a strong-armed kid. So he really, when we first got here, he overstrode quite a bit and tried to really muscle every ball and causes his ball to spray around all the time. And so we compacted his feet a little bit, and he worked on getting his hip strength a lot stronger, and so that by being compact you can still get some zip on your ball. But everything now, when you're talking about a radius of this as opposed to this, you're your margin for error decreases. And so he's done a lot better job with his footwork. His arm strength has gotten stronger in 10 months with Mickey and those guys in the weight room working on the quarterback-specific things, the rotator cuff, the deltoid stuff. So technically, all that stuff he's gotten a lot better on just through hard work and focusing on it and doing things necessary that throughout drill work and in the off season. And then the mental side of it had always been there. It was just a matter of him being engaged and focusing.
In terms of your as a play caller, how will Braxton's injury, even if he's fine, just knowing how perilous that is, how might that affect your play calling?
None. We got to win the game. You know, if it, I don't know what it's going to take Saturday at, what is it, 5:30, Jerry? At 5:30 to win the game. You know, we're trying to figure that out right now on giving our best guess and best game plan to put forward. But it won't affect. I mean, if we got to win the game, we got to win the game, and if he's the best option to do that, then that certainly won't factor into any of our decisions.
Tim May, Columbus Dispatch. Tom, you're talking Saturday again, like 8 straight games now. Y'all seen different stuff from the defense y'all weren't anticipating, and sometimes you can get it maybe fixed quicker than others. Do you actually go into a game with plan Bs, plan Cs, or is that too simplistic? And number 2, Penn State is playing a pretty good defensive game right now and stuff. What do you anticipate from them, and are they the kind of defense that would show you different stuff?
Yeah, they good 2 questions. To answer the first one, yeah, we always kind of have a plan B or a plan C, even say, okay, hey, what can we do versus anything? You know, what can we do where we can just line up and call a play and run it and try to settle our kids down, settle us as coaches down, really get a good picture of what they're trying to do. So yeah, there's always a plan B and a plan C, and sometimes even those don't include what we're seeing. So really the plan B is what can we line up in and just do well versus anything the defense throws against us. And you know, I think you saw us start to try to do a little bit of that in the second half. And then Penn State, yeah, I certainly don't want to jinx myself here, but they're playing really good defense and really good. I think their defensive tackle was the player of the week in the Big Ten Conference defensively this past week, and yeah, they will be the best defense that we've played so far this year. And obviously the environment and being on the road at their stadium, obviously with the atmosphere that they have there, and as well as how well they're playing defensively, I would be hard pressed for a team that's won 5 straight and has played as good a defense as they played to say, hey, let's abandon this in 3 days of preparation and try to do something different.
Yeah, but one quick thing, your plan B though, when it starts clicking, it seems like it's always been almost always ignited by number 5 taking off on a big run or something. I mean, just
yeah, plan B usually includes him. I can tell you that.
Is it kind of uncanny how that has worked out? Once he does pop one, it has loosened things.
Yeah, I think you know, you try to get him going as early as you can, and sometimes it takes some poking and prodding out of different formations and different plays to see what works. And so yeah, when he gets a big one or gets rolling a little bit, I think it certainly ignites the rest of the offense and kind of loosens everybody up and says, okay, hey, here we can do this. And so you know, one thing I've learned having been here for 10 months is these kids they're a bit fragile on offense now, and so having gone through what they went through last year, and you know, you got to be part psychologist throughout the course of a game and throughout the course of a week, more than just a X's and O's guy, because we all know that, hey, X, Y, and Z is going to work, but it only works if the players believe it's going to work and if the players go out and execute it to the best of their ability. So I think that's been maybe as big a challenge as any.
So is that as good a deal as anything? I mean, if there was a silver lining Saturday that y'all won the game with number 5 not there, I mean, that Kenny Guyton, that y'all were able to like step up and make plays.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's no, I mean, I like standing here today, having won 29-22 or whatever it was, rather than having lost 22-14. I don't care who, if it was Tim May freaking playing quarterback, you know.
From a Cubs standpoint.
No, you're not.
From a Cubs, the whole unit though was a good.
Yes, yeah. To say, hey, we don't have to jump on this guy's shoulders every single game, every drive, whatever, to accomplish the things that we want to accomplish, which is win the football game. We can win the game a lot of different ways. Absolutely.
Matt McCoy, WTVN, just out of curiosity, how do you react? I mean, Coach Myers said there were no champions on offense, no one graded that, and yet kind of dovetailing off of Tim's last one there, how do you as a coach react? Because I imagine you're pretty proud of them for rallying around and gutting out a win, yet literally they didn't play the way you expected them or wanted them to play. How do you handle that this week?
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, it's already been handled. I think you move on to Penn State as of yesterday, as of victory meal last night. But you walk in yesterday and you say, hey, boys, congratulations. Hell of a job. You guys found a way to win and continue to do so. But you didn't play good. You just didn't, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I want to be as honest and direct as I can with you. I didn't coach good enough. Our coaches didn't coach good enough. You didn't play good enough. As an individual player, and call out a few in front of their peers and say, you played really bad. You played really bad. Now, the whole world knows the what, and the what is we didn't play good. Everybody who watches TV or watches a tape of that can say they didn't play very good on offense. So our job as coaches is not to figure out the what. The what's the easy part. It's the why. So let's figure out the why, and then you have some honest, direct, upfront conversations with some of your key guys that might not have performed as well as you thought they were capable of, and try to dissect the why and make sure that doesn't happen again.
Last question. Ari, Coach, you guys, Ari Watchman, Buckeye Sports Bulletin, you guys obviously had to overcome a lot of things in the last minute of the game to get into the end zone, but once you got in the end zone, you had that big two-point conversion play. Coach Myers said that you wanted to run the ball, and obviously the play was called just as you wanted. I mean, what is that like when you guys are in a very tense moment, and you both maybe have a different idea of what should be the play? How is that? How do you go through that as a coach?
I think you pick your battles. As a coordinator with the head coach, I think had I been fighting for everything that I wanted for 9 weeks, that one might not have gotten approved. So you pick your battles, and B, I firmly believe that one of the roles of an offensive coordinator, and that's why I tip my hat to the guys that call plays from the sideline. I just find it a lot more the sterility of the press box allows you not to get caught up in the emotion. It allows you not to get caught up into the moment of the how big the moment is for that, and say, guys, I got it right here. We've been practicing it for 3 weeks. It's right here in front of me. It's our two-point play. I don't care if the O-line wants to run it. I don't care if Carlos Hyde wants to run it. This is what we all agreed upon as a staff on Thursday, for the last 5 weeks. I mean, I know everybody's excited and jumping up and down and their heart's racing, but I got it right here. This is what we practiced. So I think this is probably what we should do. And so I think that's kind of the beauty of being in that sterile environment in the press box is sometimes not being caught up in the emotion and the enormity of the play, and really being able to kind of calmly and coolly dissect what needs to happen to be successful.
Coach, thank you very much.
Yep.